G'day again, wonderful listeners. This is episode 15 of Trev's Talk, and I'm your host, Trev. Last week I spoke about having met a couple who had been through the Shalom House rehab program, and when speaking with the man from the couple, I got the GBs. That's my word for goosebumps. When I said to the man that I was receiving GBs, he said, "Me too." I knew then that the spiritual world meant for us to meet, and I should try to find a reason for that. He was a plumber and gas tradie, and I had asked him to come to our unit because our gas was not working. In our conversation, the words holy water came up, and immediately my antenna went up as my Medjugorje Centre charity distributes Medjwater. The fact that he and I both got GBs and holy water came up in the conversation was all too much not to be a spiritual plan. While he was working on our gas problem, his partner and little son arrived to talk to him about some family issue, and the plumber introduced them to us. They talked about their beating addictions through the Shalom House rehab program, which I spoke about in my previous episode. During our conversation, it came up that their little son had just been diagnosed with autism. My antenna sprang into action, and I thought maybe the spiritual connection with his dad was a sign that I should give some of my Medjwater to the boy's parents to give to the boy, because his parents said that the boy was seriously overactive and really very hard to cope with. We all finished up as friends by the time our gas problem was fixed, and the lovely couple were happy to try their son on my Medjwater. I had given them enough to last for about 3 months, if they gave him a small daily dose. I felt I had done what the spiritual world wanted. I will hear from the couple down the track and will report in a podcast to you, wonderful listeners, whether the boy's demeanour improved or whether there turned out to be some other reason the spiritual world had brought the couple into my life. He is a lovely little boy, and I would dearly love to see him more settled and more calm. That would be great for his parents also. So with this instance of getting GBs over my new plumber friend, I have tried to cover all possible bases. The plumber was a good product of Shalom House's rehab program. So I spoke about him and Shalom House in episode 14. He was spiritually used to really emphasise to me the words holy water, making me feel I should give some Medjwater to his little boy. By giving the boy Medjwater, I think I've covered all areas the spiritual world wanted me to. When I get GBs over someone or something, I look for all possible actions I imagine the spiritual world wants me to take. I have a trial and error attitude, and to explain this I need to guide you to a journal entry of the 2nd of July 2011, which states, "This morning I dreamt I was building a boat in a large shed out of materials I was not familiar with. I had built a section and it was not right, so I had to pull it apart and rebuild it properly. Upon awakening, I was given a short dose of pleasure, which made me think to write the dream down. Later, thinking about this dream, I realised that it was showing me that I was doing Our Lady's work by trial and error. Sometimes I had to undo efforts made and redo them correctly. The whole plan is not clear to me, so I just have to keep on doing things as I am. Trial and error." End of journal entry. So when I spoke about Shalom House in episode 14 and earlier about the little boy getting Medjwater, I was acting in a trial and error sort of way. I was trying every way I could think of that may be connected to those two things, and that is what I believe the spiritual world wants me to do. Later, after the big publicity I've spoken about previously, some other connection to Shalom House and my new plumber friend may come to light. I believe it probably will. Now, a change of pace here. I want to chat to you about love and the pleasure I call ecstasies. So, I refer you to journal entry of the 30th of October 2010, which states, "Woke up in the early hours, not having any special dream, so went back to bed at 2:45 a.m. and for 15 to 20 minutes was given the pleasure. Mostly it was very mild and subtle, with one very pleasurable surge. It was beautiful. When it ended, I was able to go back to sleep. Later, same day at 11:50 p.m, I had been asleep and I had dreamt that love is the most incredible thing, and I was given a jolt of pleasure that was so strong it awakened me. So I came and wrote it down. Maybe God is making me love him more. The pleasure does that." End of entry. Then on the 23rd of November 2010, the journal states, "From 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. I dozed and woke, and had a very gentle pleasure feeling, except for once when I thought, God is making me love him more. I then got a surge before it went back to the gentle way." End of entry. Then next day, on the 24th of November 2010, the journal states, "Again woke to mild, gentle pleasure, and it's just lovely." End of entry. Then on the very next day, the 25th of November 2010, woke again about 4:35 a.m. and dozed on and off until 4:55 a.m, and the whole time I was treated to mild, gentle pleasure, except once while I was saying, "Beautiful God, beautiful God, beautiful God," I received one strong surge. Oh God, I am so privileged. That is similar pleasure for 3 mornings in a row. End of journal entry. Wonderful listeners, you might be able to say the GBs or goosebumps are a coincidence. You might also be able to say the dreams or some sort of coincidence as well. But when you add the amazing ecstasies to the GBs and dreams, it should make you stop and think, this Trevor guy is really getting promptings or inspirations from the spiritual world. There is really something going on with him. So now let's chat about some journal entries regarding Our Lady's part in my life. I first refer to journal entry of the 26th of February 2011, which states, "I got up at 4:45 a.m, having just been lying in bed receiving some subtle pleasure while thinking about my relationship with Our Lady. It was lovely to get some pleasure again, as I've not had some for a while." End of entry. Then 2 days later, on the 28th of February 2011, my journal states, "When thinking about telling prayer groups that Our Lady is pleased with them, I got serious GBs. When thinking about telling people whose rosaries have turned gold that Our Lady is also pleased with them, I got more GBs. This seems to mean that I can speak for her. It certainly seems so, in some circumstances at least." And then on the 30th of March 2011, the journal states, "It's 4:30 a.m. I was lying in bed awake and thinking about this job I have to do for Our Lady. I thought that if I did a good job, I would be rewarded, and I received a mild surge of pleasure. That made me feel good and loved as well." End of journal entry. Well, Once again, wonderful listeners, I've come to the end of an episode. Next week, I will chat more about Our Lady and my amazing life. But until then, this is Trev tuning out, and please don't forget to subscribe or follow.